What if you could get into a used $70,000 luxury ride for less than the cost of a used Honda Civic? So let's talk to a used car dealer who does a ton of service on these vehicles before they hit the lot and ask him what the real pros and cons are of buying a luxury vehicle, $70,000 rig, for less than $12,000. Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Jam here at Drive Local TV, and I'm joined by Weston, the owner of a great, highly rated used vehicle dealership over here in Southeast Portland. And we're gonna ask him the question, because you do a ton of work on these vehicles before they ever hit your showroom lot.
Hopefully not a ton, but sometimes if I'm unlucky,
But you look at all of them, which is a little rare for a used car dealership.
We've got a service center down in Selwood where I don't know if it's rare. Maybe it is. I don't know. I just do what I do. But we've got a service center down in Selwood where we, go through everything before we put them up for sale. We're pretty darn thorough. And
so you're the perfect person to ask. I want to get into this $75,000 rig. Super attractive. I've always loved Range Rovers. And what I'm seeing here is I can get into it for less than $12,000. So I want to explore with you, from somebody who's done a lot of mechanical work with cars, high mileage cars. What are the pros and cons of getting into a $75,000 rig for less than $12,000?
You're going to fix it.
Let's get in.
Okay. Well, let's get inside of it.
I'm like selling myself here. I mean, this is just a sweet rig.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you're a car person, you get in it and you just go, wow, this is a lot of car for the money. It's just kind of insane. You heard how the door sounds when you shut it. It's just it's a joy to be inside this thing. It's comfy. And the drive is nice, and all the things.
It smells so good. The leather.
Yeah, the leather does smell nice. Yeah, I've got both keys for it.
Yeah.
There are some of these that are just hammered, and I stay away from those. But this thing is, whoever had it took good care of it.
I want to buy this car, and I'm like, I know you guys are honest. I just want to know, like, straight up, what should I be aware of? Like, am I getting into a money pit, or is this a steal?
Both. It's a money pit, and also it's a steal. Like, if you're at a car dealership and you're looking at a used Range Rover, the salesperson says, "Oh, these things are actually great. They don't really have any problems." Get out of there. Like, that's a bad sign. No, if you ask me or Ryan, like, "Hey, like, are these reliable?" We'll be like, "No, they're not." It's like, that's why it's $12,000, because you're gonna have to fix it. Like, that's just the reality of the situation.
Now, is that specific to this ride, like Range Rovers in general, or is anything? I mean, how many miles does
it's got 125,000 miles?
Right. So is anything that high end that used to be $75,000 when it crosses that threshold of 100,000 miles, or are you always going to experience a high maintenance fee?
I mean, this is the thing. Are there European cars over 100,000 miles that are super nice that will give you good service? Yes. I've had that experience myself. I remember I bought 2008 CL5, I can't remember if it was a 500 or 550, but pretty much when it was new, it was like 120 grand. It's a two-door S-Class rich guy car. Cool rich guy car. I sold it, I think, when I was done with it for like $12,000 or $13,000, and it had like 110,000 miles. I drove it for a year and a half. I didn't have a single problem with it. Not a single problem.
Sweet.
But that doesn't mean that like, I'm not going to tell my customer that like they're going to get lucky. At the end of my year and a half of enjoying the car, I was surprised that I never had an issue with it.
So what I'm hearing is you should expect to spend thousands of dollars over the course of a couple years. And if you don't, then good on you. You found a super lucky car.
Yeah, you got lucky. And the thing is, like, with the Range Rovers, and Range Rovers especially, I would say, like, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, not so much. Some of the models are like this, but like, just to get an engine for the car is what you'd buy this car for. So really, and like, these things are known for lunching engines. They are. So
I'm so used to Japanese cars. Right? They're still expensive to put a new engine in, but
there's a decent chance you're going to put an engine in this car within 3 to 5 years or sooner, or who knows? You know what I'm saying? I don't know when, but like, I'm pretty sure you will,
Yeah.
you know? So it's one of those things where, okay, first off, I highly recommend getting a service contract, also known as like a extended warranty. If you can find a company that will cover it. We have one that will. And it's a reputable company that actually pays. It doesn't like try to wiggle out of like, you know, fixing your car. If I was like, okay, I want to have the Range Rover experience, the way I would do it is go, all right, just assume you're gonna have to spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a warranty. At least that's what I would do. If you're easygoing and you have an extra 10, 15 grand laying around, don't get a service contract. You're gonna be fine. But if you're like me, and you're neurotic and you don't want to worry about, you know, all this stuff that could happen, and do like every single preventative like little thing that you're supposed to do, then yeah, don't just get one. So I mean, and the thing is, it's still a bargain. If you buy this thing for 12, you put a $5,000 warranty on it that lasts, let's say it's good for 3-4 years. Okay, you're gonna altogether, what your cost is $16,000-$17,000. That's still a lot of car for the money. And son of a gun, you could go and spend $40,000 on a newer one, and you're going to take a $20,000 hit in depreciation over 3-4 years anyways. It's kind of,
Yeah. So we hit a lot of the cons.
yeah.
Let's hit one pro. You know, there's a Prestige when you were driving your rich guy car.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like you feel like a different human being? Like you get out of you take it to the valet, you take it to
I just
an
gotten
event.
out of a relationship, you know,
Yeah.
and I was single
Yeah,
again.
so this is a solution
Well,
car.
and it popped up at auction.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That seems like a bargain. I checked it out. I was like, yes, I'll roll the dice.
Yeah.
You know, and I originally was like, oh, I'm going to buy this to sell. And then I started driving it. I was like, no, this is my car.
Yeah. So look, I understand there's something egoic about it, but if you're looking to like, you know, elevate your game a little bit, this doesn't hurt. And I would say this. Just can't beat the comfort of this for 12K. This is
No,
just
and it doesn't
ridiculous.
look like it. If you, right now it's dirty because of the rain and whatnot. But if it was all cleaned up and whatnot, you would you at first glance you go, oh, that's a $30,000 car.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pros and cons of buying a $75,000 for less than a used Honda Civic for under 12K. I invite you guys to come down to Cascadia Motors. They're awesome. They have great reviews because they're honest. And and they do a ton of service before you get this car on the lot, so you can know that it's well tested, it's inspected, and you're gonna know what you're getting into. All right, I'm Jam at Drive Local TV.
Go.
All right, we'll see you soon, Weston.
See ya.